So we're blessed today to be with Howard Page with Team Logic in Atlanta, Georgia, right, Howard?
Absolutely.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
It's good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about Team Logic's a franchise, right?
That is correct. It's about 160 offices now around the U.S. So we're one of the largest IT service providers in the world.
Wow. And what were you doing prior to your franchise decision around Team Logic?
So I spent most of my corporate life in sales of geeky software. My last big corporate gig was with McAfee, which was at that point called Intel Security. So we were part of the Intel Corporation. So
Gotcha.
After that, I went to work for a small software company based here in Atlanta. They unfortunately ran out of money. So I spent a few years doing my own startup. And after that, I realized that it really just wasn't getting the traction. So around that time, I got called by somebody who was looking for help people with choosing franchises. And I said, maybe what I need is that little extra bump between being an entrepreneur and being an employee.
Yeah.
And seemed like of the 6 that they selected for me, I like the Team Logic approach the best.
That's awesome. Now, do you have employees or do you do most of the work yourself?
I try to do very little of the work myself. And I have my wife and I own it, and we're both employees, and we have 2 engineers. We've kind of split. It's funny. You would say, well, there's only 4 people, but we actually have come up with a pretty good split between Tyler and I really work on the pre-sales, finding new business, and then my wife and Michael do the customer care part.
Okay. And it's a model where traditionally they put you sort of on their payroll for a monthly fee and you make sure and take care of all their IT. Is that sort of how it works? Or?
Yeah, the managed service is certainly what we like to do because then we get to know their systems and we can take care of them. And typically, and that's really, we just started in November, so we're pretty new, but all of our clients have been managed service clients. There's also this notion of what we call break fix, where something breaks, you call up somebody, come in and fix it. We do that as well, but it's just much harder. It costs more money. It takes longer to fix. So we really do want people to benefit from having us monitoring their systems all the time. Actually, my wife just gave a talk this morning, and there was an incident with Google Chrome on desktop that would allow the bad guys. In fact, the bad guys had taken over people's computers used through the Google Chrome browser. What we did when we found out about it was we went and put a patch together and verified that all of our clients had that patch and were on the most recent version of Chrome. So they didn't have to do anything. We managed that. We did the maintenance all without them having to do anything. All we have to do is tell them at the end of the month, oh, this thing happened, but you don't need to care about it because we took care of it.
You're there. Yeah. Sounds like this franchise was perfect for your background.
Yeah, it was a very good mix because my background is sales. And so I enjoy selling. I enjoy meeting people. And mostly it's because I try hard not to sell too much. I let people buy from me. I love for people to buy.
Yeah.
But I understand. And in fact, we were talking, I had a lunch meeting today, and I was talking with the people, and I said, salespeople get confused between what I need and what the client needs. And when I have a sales manager saying, you got to make your quota this quarter, or I have to make my quota and I'm relying on you to make it, you suddenly are putting your requirements on them. And that's just not fair.
No, it's not. It's not. Sales has evolved so much over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And it's not, every once in a while when I get a big head and I think about sales in the wrong way, I go watch Glenn Ross or
that's right.
Tin Man.
Those great movies, yeah.
Or Tin Man was the other one that.
Yeah. What would you say is a big differentiator between Team Logic and the other IT type companies that are out there for small businesses?
Certainly when on the smaller end, a lot of the small businesses that we've run across so far, and again, we're fairly new to this, but they're really outsourcing to a one-person shop or maybe 2 people. And what happens, and you see this with a lot of contractors, is they're very good at doing the work, but they're not very good at running the business.
Yeah.
And so they don't get a call back. We had somebody, a dentist, and he had called his guy, and it had been 3 days, the guy hadn't called them back. And we hear that's pretty commonly. So certainly you can be guaranteed that we're going to call back because we have the infrastructure in place. We have the people by having people, we have engineers that do the work, and my wife and I who run the business.
Run the business, yeah.
That it's really run it as a business. And then as you scale up into larger corporations, because we're part of Team Logic, we have access to, I think the number today is around 500 engineers.
Oh, wow.
So we can support companies that are spread all across the U.S. And in fact, we do as IT, as Team Logic IT, we support many, many customers that have sites all over the U.S. And a lot of the work can be done remotely, and we'll do that here out of Atlanta. But
Sure.
if you have an office in New Jersey, you want somebody to go on site to fix something, we make a call to the guys in New Jersey and they go make the service call.
Nice, nice. So you actually can attract clients from all over Atlanta, actually.
Mm-hmm.
With your
all
franchise model.
over the country.
All over the
Yeah,
country.
really, yeah, the way our franchise is set up, as long as we establish a relationship, it's our client.
Nice.
There is a territory associated with it, but the territory is kind of exclusive for me to do direct marketing.
Gotcha. Yeah. So in terms of, besides the sales function and actually growing the business, what other skill sets do you feel like you bring to the franchise?
Well, because I spent so much time in security, and before McAfee, I worked in even geekier software than that. So I really do have a compliance mindset. And a lot of IT people came to the IT space through fixing computers.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're all about building things, not so much about securing them. So I'd have to say the one thing that I can do that a lot of other IT people don't spend as much time on is being able to handle cybersecurity and compliance.
Yeah. And so your intention to grow your franchise and to grow your business is, how do you guys market your company? Obviously you're in network and action, but what other ways are you using to market the company?
I mean, there's something besides network and action that I should be doing?
We don't think so, but
I beg to differ. No, actually. Because and this is something, I came from the corporate space, and that sales is very different than what I'm doing now as a business to business. And the number one thing is getting out and meeting people. So a couple hours after you and I stopped talking, my wife and I are going to a network event from the Buckhead Business Association.
Nice.
We've got the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I grew up in South Florida. I'm clearly not Hispanic, but I have a Hispanic culture, and one of my employees is actually half Cuban. So it's really just getting out and meeting the people, and NIA certainly helps do that. And once you have somebody that knows and trusts you, they feel comfortable introducing you to people they know that have a need.
That's right.
And then you grow the business. That's really
right. That's right.
It was kind of sad that when I started, I had probably 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, but maybe 150 of them were in Atlanta. Most of them were all over the country. And actually, I tell people, if you want to know some people in Dundee, Scotland, I'm your guy. But that doesn't help me grow my IT business at all.
Right.
So that's really what I've been doing since getting started on this, is building up a presence in the Atlanta area.
Yeah. Well, hopefully NIA can be a part of that. What is it that you hope to get out of the NIA relationships that you're going to build?
There's a great need for IT services across. I mean, every small business runs on technology now. We have a customer that sells helicopter parts all over the world. If their network goes, their computers are down, or their inventory database goes down, they can't do business.
Right.
And that's true of every business out there. And so so I'm looking for network and action to help put me in touch with businesses that need help. Either they're growing and they've been trying to do it with duct tape and baling wire, and they want to get a professional in to run it. So one of my newest client, we actually were on site last week helping out. He had a problem with one of his Mac computers. He couldn't get it to work, to get it to boot, and we figured it out and got it. And his comment when they delivered it was, "This is the best decision I've ever made." Well, except for getting married and having kids, but best business decision I ever made.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing that I see that there's a big need out there for our service, and a lot of these small businesses are being underserved.
Yes.
So I'm looking for network and action to help be my eyes and ears out there for people who are feeling some pain, and we'll help them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened. I know here in Houston with our IT companies in our groups is they end up doing business with almost everyone in the group as the trust is built, and everyone needs help with security, right? Everyone needs help with backing up their data and making sure that things are running efficiently. And so we've had good success with IT companies.
Here you are.
Here we are.
Okay, you're back.
Okay.
For a minute.
Let me just click this right here.
You're still recording. You're still recording.
All right. So I was just mentioning that, in Houston here, our IT companies that are in our groups, they've experienced that because ultimately once the trust is built, they end up doing business with a large percent of the people, if not all of them in the group, because everybody's got trouble with, backing up their data, making sure it's backed up properly and frequently, and making sure that the security things are in place. I always say that if the Pentagon can get attacked, then what chance do small businesses have? So there's such a great need for you and your services, and we're really glad that you're in this space and providing. We're really grateful for your membership and Network in Action. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Wish you a lot of luck, and if we can ever help you down here in Houston, Texas, by all means, let us know. Tell the audience today how they reach you, both email and phone number, if you will.
So the phone number, my personal cell number is 404-754-8763. The business line is 770-450-0910. And my email is hpage, Page, @teamlogicit.com.
Awesome. So Howard, thanks so much for joining us today. And we look forward to hearing more from you. And I look forward to meeting you when I'm out in Atlanta.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks so much.